Predecessor is a 5v5 third-person MOBA, like a third-person League of Legends or Smite. I've been playing this game for a while, even before it was called Predecessor, but we're going to save that for another video. This video is going to be for beginners. It's me to help you learn the game. It's gone free to play now, and I'm going to go over the basics for each role and what you're trying to do in that role. Now, a quick disclaimer here, I'm not a pro player. I've played this game a lot, but I'm not as good as others. But I do know the basics, and I thought maybe I'd make a video to help people out with some of the basics. If you're new, I think this video will help you, so please watch it. Please. Alright, so when you have decided to get into your first match, you're going to be put into what is known as the draft. It is where you're going to pick your role in your character, and this is very important because 50% of games are lost in the draft. And for just pennies a day, you could stop. No, I'm just kidding. But you want to make sure that you're choosing the right role and the right character for your role. Right when the draft starts, you're going to actually see a selection of the roles. It'll be all the roles. Offlane, jungle, mid lane, support, and carry. Now, usually you do not want to jungle if you are a beginner. I'm just going to let that be known right now. That is a very difficult task, and I would not wish that on anybody starting off. But off lane, mid lane, or support would be really good for starting off, or carry if you have played other MOBAs before. Also, really important, if you are given the role of jungle, you cannot switch after that the roles have been assigned. I hope they change this personally, but as of right now, just so you know, if you randomly get assigned jungle, just know you do have to jungle. I recommend picking up like Chimera, Rampage, or something for beginner characters. Chimera probably the best, really good sustain in the jungle and just overall in general. Rampage too, pretty tanky boy. Now, when you see all of those roles right there, you just click on the one you want. And if someone else clicks on it too, just know that it'll randomly give it between you and that other person. At the top of the character select screen, you can see the images for the different roles that you're in. I would recommend picking a character in your role and not trying anything fancy. A lot of people take carries into the off lane or mid lane, or just other types of characters as jungle or anything like that. But right now, while you're getting used to the game, take a character into your role that is your role. Definitely pick the role that you have been given and pick a character underneath there. There are so many different characters, and you might not find a character that you like right away. It might take just a little bit to get used to one. You might hate the character that you play first and then go in again and realize, oh, whoa, I like this other character first. And side note too, there is a practice range that you can go into where you can test out those characters before you even get into a match, which wouldn't be a bad idea too, just to kind of get used to how the game works and how that character works and read their abilities. And then once the draft is over, you are on to the game. After you get through the draft and you're in the match, the first thing you are going to notice is that it's asking you to pick a crest. Don't panic. You're definitely just going to want to pick usually the first crest that it assigns you. Usually assigns it for the role that you're in. There are different crests for mages, assassins, your frontline characters, your tanky boys, and your carry and your supports. Double check that it is for the role that you're trying to play, and you're good to go. There is a little quest that the crest will give you. It's in the bottom right. Usually it's going to be like restore some health or do some damage or get gold or whatever. And that's actually going to help you level up the crest later on to get an ability that you can choose. After you selected your crest, notice you're in the game and you're looking at your HUD. I'm going to go over this part pretty quickly, but at the bottom of the screen, there is going to be your health bar and mana bar, your abilities that you can upgrade. Each of those dots at the bottom is how many times you have upgraded those abilities. There is your passive and your blink. For those of you who don't know, everyone is given a blink, which is a quick teleport. So that's going to be very useful to get in and out of situations. Over to the right is going to be your health potion. Unless you are a jungler, then you have the hunter's knife for sniping Fangtooth and last hitting those minions with that knife. Your crest is there. Eventually your ability will be right next to that. And everyone's given a ward in that slot right there. Wards are important for those of you who have not played a MOBA. You put a ward down, if someone goes near it, you are able to see them. So very important there. Top right is going to be where the map is. And then at the top of the top right and left of the screen, you'll notice your team and the enemy team. Your team, you can see the health and the mana that you have. There's also a little symbol there for Fangtooth, which is how many times you have killed it, which is good to know, or how many times the enemy team has killed it, which is also good to know. And going down to the bottom left of the screen to finish it off is your level. It's going to show what level you are at currently for the match. Usually you want to keep your level The same with the team, be around that area. Your kills, deaths, and assists, how many minion last hits you got, which is very important. Last hitting a minion is how you get gold and how you are able to buy items. And then to the right of that is gold. I want to talk a second about minion last hits. When a minion's health bar turns red after taking a good amount of damage, that means they are one basic attack hit and you get the last hit on them. Last hitting a minion gives you extra gold. In every role, you always want to get last hits on minions to level up, except for support. Your job is to let the carry get the last hits. And every time you go back to the base, you are able to use that gold to buy items. For just starting out, I'm going to recommend you use auto buy. There is an auto buy option in the store. It'll automatically buy items that it thinks you need for the character you're playing and in the role you're in. And it's really good. And plus, you're able to get back to the lane pretty quickly using auto buy. But again, as you get better at the game, don't use auto buy. Start learning how to build a character. I used auto buy in some of the early tests, and I didn't know how to build characters, and it kept me strong, and it was really good. There are so many videos out there on how to build and buy for characters, and many creative people out there showing them. I'm sure I'll do a few as well, but definitely go check some of those other videos out if you're looking for build guides. There are many out there. Okay, so looking at the main map, there are orange dots and light blue dots. Those are the towers. Your towers will keep you safe, and the enemy towers will shoot at you, so be careful. Your goal is to destroy the enemy towers leading all the way to the core. Then you destroy their core and win. It's easier said than done. To damage their towers and core, you have to have minions in there with you. If you do not have any minions in the enemy tower, it will shoot at you. Or if you damage an enemy player, it will target you whether or not you have minions in the tower. So be careful. On the map, you're going to notice other dots that are different colors. Gold dot is gold buff. This gives whoever last hits the buff extra gold. It is in duo lane, so you usually want your carry to get this. Then green dot is green buff. This gives bonus XP. It is an off lane, and you definitely want to get it if you're in off lane. Then there are river buffs. They give you mana and a random perk on last hit. Mid lane fights over these buffs, and jungle helps too. So coordinate with your jungle to get both buffs and deny mid lane getting it. After that, there is red buff, which gives some extra damage, and blue buff that gives mana regen and ability cooldown. Those are for your jungler. They're going to be in the jungle, so pretty easy for the jungler to get. Then we have Fangtooth, which when you kill helps the whole team. First kill makes the jungle and river buffs last longer. Second kill gives 8% out of combat movement speed, and third gives extra physical power, magical power, and extra armor. Fangtooth is important to get and causes lots of team fights, so make sure you help the team with that. And I can't stress this enough. Fangtooth wins games. Then after Fangtooth has been killed 3 times, it's going to become Primal Fangtooth. He's harder to kill and he does more damage during the fight. He becomes a boss battle. If you kill Primal Fangtooth, your whole team gets damage over time. That purple dot on the map is where Mini Prime is for the first 20 minutes of the game. Then it becomes Orb Prime after the first 20 minutes. Whoever gets the last hit on Mini Prime, usually your jungler off lane will be getting Mini Prime. They get plus 15% damage and a minion buff. This means that when you're near minions with the buff, that they're going to be stronger and take more hits. You'll know because you'll be purple and so will the minions. After 20 minutes, it becomes Orb Prime, which is a team objective. You need the whole team there for this. And if your team last hits it, everyone on the team gets plus 20% damage bonus and out of combat health and mana regeneration and the minion buff. And it also makes your whole team have this purple aura and look really cool. Can't stress this enough. This is a team fight. So you need your team there, and you probably want to have some of the enemy team down and respawning. So when the match starts, there will be an arrow guiding you to which lane you need to go to. Follow that arrow. It's telling you which lane you need to go to for your role. While laning, you want to last hit minions and try to harass your opponent in the lane. If you get a kill, that's great, but don't be afraid to just make them back and recall and go back to base. But getting a kill is obviously really good. Once you got a lot of gold, you can recall yourself and go back to the base to get items and heal up. But the other thing I want to stress too is if you just get low and are very low health, don't stick around because you just recalled. Recall again. Go back. If you're out of potions or anything to heal you, for real, go back. It's important to not let them get kills. Make sure you have map awareness and are watching out for if some other laner is coming over to your lane. Like, keep an eye on that map. You want to be careful not to overextend If you push too far in the lane without help, you might have the enemy jungler coming behind you and kill you. And that's actually called a gank. Hopefully the jungler ganks for you. This is where they come behind the person you're laning against and help you get a kill. Also, pro tip, there are quick communication tools for you to use to say like, hey, enemy's missing left or careful mid. So definitely get familiar with that. And last bit is really positioning. Positioning is super important. Again, don't want to overextend in your lane. You want to stay near your tower, but if you have teammates there to help you or you think you're strong enough, you can push up and start harassing them a little bit more. And positioning in team fights. Your team is going to have team fights, and team fights are very important and can turn the tide of a game. You could be losing your entire lane, but the rest of your team is doing really well, so you can have a team fight that turns the game around and helps you get stronger. You want to position yourself where you need to be. If you're tanky and strong, you need to be in the fight and protecting your teammates. If you're support, you need to be, setting up stuns, supporting your teammates, shielding them, whatever support you chose can do. And if you're like the carry, you want to stay back and obviously get some kills. Do not be afraid to get out of the team fight if you get low on health. It's gonna happen. Don't go back into the team fight just to give them more kills. Leave if you're low on health. And I don't mean like half health. If you're half health, you're still there to fight. There you have it. I hope this helps. This was my first time doing a video like this. I hope you liked it, and this is a really basic understanding of the game. There are many different strategies that you will learn as you play and different ways you can play. Again, there's a lot of guides out there too, and a lot of other players who go more in depth into builds. And I'm sure I might do some videos too, like I've said earlier. But if you like this, please subscribe and like the video. And if you want, check me out on Twitch and TikTok. I post on there and I stream on Twitch. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and good luck in your games.